Year 3, hope you're well. Welcome to your next maths lesson. Now, before we start, let's check if we've got everything here. So let's check if we've got a maths book, a sharp pencil, a ruler, and a rubber. You're going to need all of those for today, so pause the video if you need to go get any of those now. And before we move on, I would like you just to look at these two logos that I've got here. And I'm going to put these on the top right-hand side of each of my slides, just so we know whether we need to be writing anything for that slide. So I've got a man with a headphones listening slide next to him, so that should hopefully be quite straightforward. When you see this symbol, I would like you not to be writing anything in your book. You should just be listening to what I'm saying. I might ask you to have a think, but it doesn't mean you have to write anything down. And then we have the activity slide. So if you see this, this means we're going to have something which we need to write in our book. And it'll be pretty straightforward what we need to write. I will explain it when we get to the slides. But if you see that, get your pencil ready, get your book ready, so you know you need to write something. Fantastic. So we're going to be looking at the 8 times table again today. Before we start, let's just put the date in our books, the learning objective, and then see if we can answer this question here. I should have put an activity slide logo there, but pretend there's one there. Pause the video to do all of that though. Right, let's go through the answers quickly. So I can see here that we have 8 groups with 3 apples in each group, or 8 bags with 3 apples in each bag. And I would write the number sentence like this. 8 times 3 equals 24, because there are 8 groups of 3. You could have written it like this as well, because it gives us the same answer, but that's just 8 times 3. I find it much easier to remember that there are 8 groups of 3. Okay, let's move on. So remember, this is a listening slide. So we just need our pencil on our paper, listening to what I'm saying now. Right, I would like you just to look at these 2 number sentences here. I'd like you just to look at these 2 numbers here and these 2 numbers here, and just think, what can you notice about them? Great, yeah. You can notice, or what I've noticed anyway, is firstly, we're timesing by 4 here, we're timesing by 8 here. I know that 8 is double 4. And then if we look at the answers, I can see if we're timesing 5 by 4, we get 20. And if we're timesing 5 by 8, we're getting 40. I can also notice that 40, is double the amount of 20, just like 8 is double the amount of 4. Let's have a look at another number sentence just to see if this rule works all of the time. So 10 times 4 equals 40, and 10 times 8 equals 80. Again, I know 8 is double 4, and if I look at the answers, I know that 80 is double 40. So can you see how if we're timesing by 4, or if we're timesing by 8, sorry, it's just times by 4 but doubled. And it can be made even clearer here. If you look at, in red, I've got the 4 times table, and in blue, I have the 8 times table. And if you look at the number in a number in red, the number below it in blue will always be double. So, can you see? I'm going to pick one out quickly. Can you see that 20, which is 5 times 4, is just doubled to 40 in the 8 times table, which is 5 times 8. The same as, I can go to any of them. Same as 36, which is 9 times 4. 9 times 8 is 72, which is just double 36. It's a slightly more difficult one to work out because we can't just double each digit. We'll have to exchange. But they are all double the amount. And I've got a nice little STEM sentence that you could chant at home if you want. Because 8 is double 4, you can double your answer. Give that a go if you want now. Fantastic. Right, so let's move on. So remember, it's an activity slide, so get your pencils ready. Right, I would like you, oh, that should be there. I would like you just to look at this sentence here. So if 3 times 4 is 12, what is 3 times 8? And can you see that I've got a few blank answers here, or a few blank gaps. So 3 times 8 equals blank because, and I would like you to find the answer and finish the sentence for me, please. So pause the video and do that now. Great, let's go through the answers quickly then. So 3 times 8 equals 24 because we're multiplying by double the amount, and 12 doubled is 24. Okay, if I type it here quickly, you can see that much more clearly. Look at the ones digit, they're doubled, and then look at the tens digit, they've doubled again. Don't worry if you've got a slightly different sentence to me, that's fine, as long as the idea is there. Right, using the same rule then, I would like you to work out what 7 times 8 is. So remember, we can do 7 times 4 and double it. That's a really good rule to remember. So pause the video and do that now, and we can go through the answer. Okay, right, let's go through the answers quickly. So using the same rule, work out 7 times 8. So I know 7 times 4 is 28. And I can without even having to write the number sentence here, I could double 28, which will give me 56. But I've written the number sentence out as well. So 7 times 4 equals 28. 7 times 8 equals 56. Because they're just the answers, but just doubled. Right, another activity for you to do now. I would like you just to draw out these circles in your books. Make sure they overlap, so we've got a space in the middle. And then I would like you just to put these numbers down here into the correct category. Okay, so are they numbers in the 4 times table? Are they numbers in the 8 times table? Or are they in both the 4 times table and the 8 times table? So draw that out and fill the numbers in, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, right, let's go through the answers quickly then. So 28. If I count up in my 8s, or if I count my 4s quickly, I'll just see if 28's in there. So I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Okay, so I know 28's in the 4 times table. Let me just quickly check if 28's in the 8 times table. 8, 16, 24, 32. Oh no, there's 28 isn't in the 8 times table, so I know that is a number for the 4 times table. Right, 4. Let me count on my 4s quickly. 4. Okay, I know 4's in the 4 times table. Is it in the 8 times table though? 8. Oh, 8's more than 4, so 4 can't be in the 8 times table. So again, that falls into the 4 times table category. 32 then. So if I count up my 4s again, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Okay, it's in the 4 times table. Or is it in the 8 times table? 8, 16, 24, 32. Yes, it is. So it's in both. 40. I know 40's in the 4 times table because it's 4 times 10, and I know 40's in the 8 times table as well because it's 5 times 8. Okay, so that goes in both. 8, I also know that that's in the 4 and the 8 times table because 8 in the 4 times table, 8 is equal to 2 times 4, and in the 8 times table, 8 is equal to 1 times 8. 24, I also know that that's in the 4 and 8 times table, because 6 times 4 is 24, and 3 times 8 is 24. And finally, 80 is a bit of a trickier one. I actually know that 20 times 4 is 80, because I know 10 times 4 is 40, and then 40 doubled is 80, and then 10 times 8 is also 80. So can you see that there are no numbers just in the 8 times table? Any numbers in the 8 times table are also in the 4 times table, which is quite an interesting thing to remember. Okay, right. We're going to do a few. We're gonna just go over, sorry, filling in the blank spaces in a number sentence. So here I've got a number sentence here, and I don't know what we times by 8 to get to 24. And I remember in our lesson last term, we were looking at the inverse, weren't we? We were drawing our number sentences out onto bar models to help us. So something times 8 equals 24. I've drawn 24 as our whole part because I know that is our biggest total. That is our total, that's going to be the biggest number. So that is going to be our whole part. And we know that 8 is also one part of this bar model. Okay, so the rule we came up with last term, wasn't it, is when we know the whole part, we divide. Okay, so we know the whole part here is 24, and we have another part here which is 8. So I know the division number sentence we're going to have to be writing, let's cover that there, is 24 divided by 8. Okay, and we're going to, so with this now, we need to find out how many times 8 goes into 24. And if I can count up on my 8s to help me, actually. So if I go, so I'll start from 8, 16, 24. It goes in 3 times, which I've already shown you, really. It goes in 3 times, and then we can fill in our blank spaces. 3 times 8 equals 24. We know that's correct as well. And then 3 in our other part of our bar model. Great. So it's another activity slide for you. I would like you, using the bar model and the method that I've just shown you, to answer these 2 questions and fill in the 2 blank spaces. Okay, so pause the video and have a go at that now. Okay, great. Let's go through the answers quickly then. So something times 8 equals 16. So because we know the whole part, we know the biggest number, we know we need to divide. So I'm just going to type it in here so we know. So 16 divided by 8. How many? I'm trying to think myself. How many times does 8 go into 16? 8, 16, 2 times. So 16 divided by 8 equals 2, and that should be our missing numbers. Fantastic. 2 times 8 equals 16. 16 divided by 8 equals 2. We're just using the inverse to find out the correct answer. Right, let's look at this second one then. So something times 8 equals 48. Again, we know the whole part is 48. We know that we have the biggest number. So again, we can divide. 48 divided by 8 equals, right, I've got to find how many times 8 goes into 48. I can count in my 8s again. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 6. 8 goes into 48 6 times. And here we can fill in the blanks again with our number. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 divided by 8 is 6. Fantastic. Wondering if you got those right. Okay, right. It's your turn now to do some activities yourself independently. I'm going to pause the video, or pause the video when you need to. I'm going to skip through the slides, sorry. and have a go at this. Have a go at this in your maths book. I would like us all to have a go at the first three slides, and there's an extension at the end of it. Don't worry if you get to the third slide and you're finding it quite tricky. Give it a go. If you find it a bit hard, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to carry on after that. But I'm just going to flick through the slides now. Pause it when you need to, and then the answers will be at the end as well.